Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today for Pilates. I hope you've all had a great weekend despite the rain on Saturday, and thank you so much for joining me today. Got a really lovely standing class for you today. We're going to be starting in standing, working on our balance, working on our rotation as well, before coming down to sitting, where we're going to get some pelvic rock backs in to really build up the strength in our core and build up the muscles that support our spine. Then we're going to come down onto the mat, we're going to get some hundreds in and also use our bands for doing some really lovely hamstring stretches as well. So what I'd like to do is to make sure you have all your equipment ready. You need your mat, a little cushion for your head and your band as well. And we're going to start in standing. So what we're going to do is find that position where our feet are hip distance apart on the floor. So just take a few seconds to correctly position yourself. So your feet need to be parallel. And you need to have the weight even between your left foot and your right foot. If I sound like I'm out of breath, it's because I am. I've just been for a really long run. So some of you know I did my half marathon last week, so I'm feeling very proud of myself. And this is my first proper run since, oh my gosh, it was so hard. I just couldn't breathe, and you can feel it now. Okay, so feet hip distance apart, toes lengthened out along the floor, and weight going down evenly through your the base of your big toe, base of your little toe and your heel. Okay, from here we're just going to check in with our hips. So placing your hands on your hips, checking to see that one isn't pushing forward and the other isn't pushing forward. You're nicely balanced, toe muscles coming in here, arms hanging nice and heavy, core muscles engaged. I want you to check in with your rib cage now. Are you leaning forward? Are you flaring backwards, or are you nicely balanced? Bring your arms down by your sides. So piece of thread pulling up through the crown of your head. So it's like you're pushing the floor away from you. Feeling that lovely length in your spine and feeling super supported. Back of your neck should be nice and long, and your arms and shoulders should be relaxed and heavy. Okay, so we're going to go into a one-legged standing. So this is just going to warm up our hips and get our balance going. So breathing in. As we breathe out, transfer the weight over to one leg. And just start to float that knee up to hip height if you can. Keep that other foot really relaxed on the floor and come back down. Good, so let's go again. So you're keeping your spine in neutral. The only movement is coming from your hips here. Good, so we're just starting nice and slowly, just to warm up here. Breathing out and in. Breathing out. And in. So I'm going to show you from the side. You're just going to take a few of these, and it might take you a little while, to find your balance like this. So breathing out and in. Breathing out and in. And in. Good. Toe muscles coming in to support. You can see that my spine isn't moving. It's really easy just to start flexing your lumbar spine. You keep that nice and still. And after a few, you should be starting to get into the rhythm a little bit more. Good. So going again, we're just warming up here. Imagine a piece of thread is connected to your knee. It's just lifting you up like a puppet. Now, this is superb for your coordination. It's really good for your balance. And also, because of the muscles are working around our hips and our lumbar spine, it's great core work as well. Okay, last one to each side. Breathing out and in and out and in. Super. Okay, so let's go into our floating arms now. We're going to add in a little bit of coordination. So this time, as you breathe out, your arms float up at the same time all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale to come down. Now, this is the point at which it's really easy to lose your posture and start to sway your hips forward. So I'm going to want you to do your best to keep your body really still. You can see this isn't going well for me at the moment. And come down. We breathe out, toe muscles coming in. And come down. Breathing out. And in. Super. Let's go a few more times on each side. Breathing out, raising your arms up. Your knee comes up as well. Inhale to reach forward and down. So now we're getting that gorgeous movement at our shoulders. If you haven't quite got all that movement there, okay, I'm going to blame my running for this lack of balance today. If you haven't got the movement there, you can take your arms up to your shoulder height. You don't need to go all the way up in the air. Just do what feels good for you. Try to keep those toes really relaxed on the floor as well. And again, breathing out And in again, lovely. 2 more times. Knee coming up. Inhaling to come down. Good, last one again. Breathing out. And in. Okay, now we're going to go into some different arms. So we've done our arms up and down, and now we're going to go arms out to the side. So again, we're just altering the center of gravity. Floating your arms out. Inhaling to come down. Good. Trying to keep my body as still as possible. You are having to shift your weight slightly. Super good. And again, breathing out. Tummy muscles coming in. And coming down. Lovely. Let's go a few more times. Breathing out. Hopefully you're really feeling balanced now and strong. Keep remembering that piece of thread, pulling it through the crown of your head so you're really tall here. Breathing out. And in. Lovely. And one more here. Breathing out. And in. Good. Bring your feet down onto the floor and just give your ankles a little bit of a walk out. Have a quick sip of drink if you need it, like I do. Good. And we're going to come to some shoulder movements now. So finding that neutral place again. You can either stand in your parallel position or you can come into Pilates stance. So Pilates stance is where your heels are together, your toes are apart. Hips balance over your heels, toe muscles coming in. You should feel that wrapping around your legs. We're going to go into our dumb waiter now. So actually, no, we're going to go at the shoulder rotation first. So we're standing slightly differently, feeling really strong and grounded here. We're just going to take some small shoulder rolls. So it's really important, as well as focusing on these bigger, more complicated movements, we do the small movements as well, just to make sure that everything in our bodies is working correctly. So we bring our shoulders forward, up, back, and down, and all the time trying to keep your spine still. So tummy muscles coming in. Might feel a few little crunches and creaks, and that's absolutely fine. Coming around, down. Lovely. 2 more like this. Up, back, and down. Last one. And come down. Let's go the other way now. All the way up, forward, down, and round. Good. And a couple more here. Just really enjoying this movement. And your last one. And arms coming down. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to go into our dumb waiter. So dumb waiter, really getting some lovely movement at our shoulders. Bring your arms up so that your forearms are parallel to the floor and your elbow is your pivot point. So our arms are like this, palms facing up. Find that connection through here, breathing in. As you breathe out, just start opening up as far as you can. Now, because we're starting small, you might not be able to go very far just yet, but as your shoulders warm up, you might find you've got more movement through there. So we're just rotating the upper arm in the shoulder. Breathing out and in. Lovely. Going again. Breathing out to open and in. Make sure that you're not letting your elbows float away from your body just yet. You're trying to keep your upper arm vertical. Going again. Breathing out. Lovely. And in. 2 more. Breathing out and in. Good. And our final one. Breathing out here and breathing in, and bring your arms down. And we're going to do exactly the same with our bands. So if you have your band, great. If you don't, you can add resistance with a couple of tins of beans or a pair of water bottles, whatever you have, or hand weights even, that will work as well. If you have your band, just place it over your hands. Make sure that it's nice and wide. Palms facing upwards, tummy muscles coming in, breathing in. As you breathe out, we're going to open up. Inhale to come back. Good. Going again. Breathing out, pulling that band apart. You should really feel your biceps, triceps, and the back of your shoulders working now. Breathing out to hinge open. Inhale to return. Now, I'd like you all just to check what's going on with your wrists. As you pull that band apart, you should find that your wrist and your arm, the relationship between them stays the same. It's really easy to start kind of hinging to the side. I can't show you, hinging to the side like that. So we're trying to keep this really strong and stable. So working on your wrist strength like this is really valuable. Okay, so breathing out, toe muscles coming in, making sure that your hips remain balanced over your heels. Breathing out and in. Going again, breathing out and in. And 2 more. Breathing out and in. Lovely. Final one like this. Opening up and in and relax. Okay, we're going to add in a little bit more band here. So you're going to add in an arm extension now as well. So hopefully you can really feel your arms working. So we're going to go into the arm extension. So breathing in, breathing out to open. And then we're just going to float our arms up to shoulder height, pulling that band apart. And inhale, bring your elbows back into your sides and return. Let's go again. Breathing out and float. In and back round. Good. Going again. Open and float. In and return. Lovely. We're going to go 3 more. Nice and smooth. Really try and extend your arms out in front of you. I'll show you from the sides here. We go out and float up. So make sure your spine is staying really still. I'm going to go 1 more. We still get that core connection, really feeling it in your arms. Now remember to make it more tricky, more resistant. You can shorten that band. We're going to do 1 more here. Breathing out. Oh, pulling that band apart. Back in. And return. Lovely. Placing that band down by your side, giving your arms a little bit of a rest here. Another sip of your drink. Cup of tea is going cold. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to get into our gorgeous rotation. So feet back to parallel now, so we get a really secure base. Remember, in our rotation, our hips remain facing forward and we're rotating purely from our spine. So there's nothing going on through our lower bodies. Rotation is super important, especially as we get older, we tend to lose this movement. But to keep your spine really healthy, it's essential to keep on rotating and keep moving. It's going to keep you nice and healthy there. Okay, so we are going to float our arms up. So we're having them in Cossack position. So we have our arms stacked all on top of each other, shoulders melting down your spine. Breathing in here. As we breathe out, let's just start turning our head to the side and bone by bone, rotating around, keeping your hips facing forward. Inhale to come back through to center. Let's go to the other side. Rotating around and back to center. Now, I don't know if you saw what I just did, but I let my shoulder come up. So I'd like you just to see what happens to your shoulders when you do this rotation. It's really easy to start floating up, but imagine that somebody is standing behind you like I do in class, just lightly pressing on your shoulders to keep them down. So breathing out, twisting to the side, inhale back through to center. Good, let's go to the other side. Rotating, twisting around, back to center. Good. So as you rotate around, bring your toe muscles in. Make sure you're not letting your hips just float from side to side. So really like in concrete from your tummy muscles down. Okay, let's go again. We're going to swap our arms over so the other arm is on top now. And do exactly the same. So starting small and just seeing whether you have different ranges of movement on each side. Now, from a hips, I'll show you, if you start to twist your hips, you'll see my left hip is coming forward. What we want to do is keep our hips completely balanced. So it's pure spinal rotation, keeping it really, really healthy. Breathing out to twist, into return and going again. Hopefully you can still see me, the sun's come up, which is gorgeous and warm, but it does make the lighting a little bit tricky. And 1 more to the side and coming back through. Bring your arms down, relax your arms here. And now we're going to go into a little bit of a challenge. We haven't done this one for a while, and it's going to be a waist twist standing on one leg. So we're combining that rotation with fantastic balance. So we are going to stand on one leg here. Bring your arms over in that Cossack position just like before. And float one knee up so that we are balanced on one knee. Now from here, we're going to do our rotation. So as you breathe out, rotate to the side. Keep that supporting foot really long on the floor. Come around to the other side. You're going to see if you can do 2 times on each side per leg. So If you're like me, you should be feeling the muscles around your knee, your hip and your ankle really working. If you need to place your foot down, that's absolutely fine. You can do the same exercise with your toe on the floor. So you're still balancing on one leg, but you've just got that extra bit of support here. If you can float it up, that's fab. But remember, it's fine to have your toe on the floor to give you that feedback that you need to help with your balance. Whoa, I'm wobbling here. Breathing out, back through to center. And coming to the other side, back through to center, and bring that foot down. Bring your arms down, give your legs a little bit of a walk out. We're going to do exactly the same again. So arms coming up, knee coming up here, breathing in. As you breathe out, rotate to the side, back through to center with control. Over to the other side, fantastic. Good, keep your shoulders melting down the back of your spine, keep that core muscle coming in. Remember, we start that rotation with a little turn of our head first. Back through to center, bring your arms down. Let's go on the other side, bring that knee up, rotate around. Back to center. Really trying to keep your balance here. Good, so I'm not talking, hopefully me not talking will help both yours and my balance. Bring your arms down again. We're going to do one more time on each side like this. So coming up, breathing out. And I failed, and go again. Rotating around, back to center, good. Going again, breathing out. And back through. And again, back to center, and bring your arms down. And let's go one more time on the other side. Rotating, keeping that supporting leg as strong as you can. Really fab for your coordination, your mind-body connection as well. And to the left, coming back through to center. Bring your arms down, give yourself a little bit of a walk out here. Get rid of any tension that you're holding in your legs and your arms. And take a few more shoulder rolls here. Okay, good. So from here, we're going to go into our Pilates squat. So we're going to start with a normal Pilates squat, and then we're going to add in a little bit of a leg shaping exercise. So I'd like you to stand on the floor. Bring your feet slightly closer together. Stand nice and tall here. Remember, on our Pilates squat, we inhale as we come down and exhale as we press through our hips and our heels to return to standing. So let's just practice our normal Pilates squat. Inhale, bend your knees forward. Send your bottom backwards as if you're about to sit on a public toilet. Bring your toe muscles in and let your arms hang heavy. It's about keeping your spine in neutral, long back and neck. Pressing through to come up. Good, I can feel this so badly in my legs. Let's go again. We inhale, toe muscles coming in, knees coming forward. Pressing through to come up. Good. Pressing the mat away, standing nice and tall. Lovely. Tummy muscles coming in again, bottom going backwards, hinging forward. Really feeling your legs. Now I want you to check what's going on with your knees this time. Ask yourself if they're coming together or falling apart. Super, going again. 3 more times here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lovely, going again. So really feeling that core connection. It's very tempting to tuck your bottom under or even just stick it out and get a really deep lumbar spine curve. So we're going to keep it as still as possible. Pressing up, and one more time. Coming down, keeping your knees as relaxed as you can, and pressing through, walking through your feet once again. Okay, so now we're going to add in our leg shaping exercise. So this is where we're going to come onto our tiptoes, really engaging our quads and our calves. So same position as before. We inhale to come down. Keep your arms hanging heavy. This time, you're going to come up onto your tiptoes, bring them down, press through. So sinking down again, knees going directly forward over your toes. Come right up onto your tiptoes, lengthen down, press back up. Super. Going again. Up onto your tiptoes. Keep your heels really strong. Lengthen down. Press back through. Super. So feeling that lovely strength through the back of your quads. If you need some extra support around your knees, you can grab either a fluffy cushion or a squishy ball like this one. Hold it between your knees, and just having that feedback here can help you to keep your knees aligned. So you have that ball there, coming up, heels down, and return. So just having something to squeeze on can help you actually activate your pelvic floor and your inner thighs just a little bit more. Let's go 2 more times. Knees going forward, coming up onto our heels, heels going down, pressing back through. And we're going to go 1 more time like this. Knees going forward, heels peeling off, and coming back through. Awesome. Let's get rid of that ball. We're now going to come into another heel lift. This time we're going to keep our heels off the floor as we raise up. So again, working on our balance. So feet back into this lovely Pilates squat position. We inhale to come down. As we exhale, we tip forward onto our tiptoes. Peel your heels off the floor. And then keeping your heels off the floor, press through your toes to come back up to standing. Lower your heels down. So you're lengthening away from the floor. Inhale again. Tummy muscles coming in to support your spine. Arms hanging heavy, long back of neck. Peel your feet off. Press all the way back up, nice and tall. Lengthen down, heels back on the floor. Hinging. Peeling. Pressing through, piece of thread through the crown of your head. Lengthen down, super. It's like you're going on a wave almost. Hinging up. Pressing through and coming down. Okay, so let's try the same movement in the reverse. So this time we're coming up onto our tiptoes as we inhale, still inhaling. Start to send your knees forward, your bottom back. Keep those toe muscles coming in. This is a lot more challenging here. Exhale to place your heels down and press through. So we're coming up again, keeping the movement super smooth and slow, knees going forward. Whoa, trying your best to keep your balance. You can see that I'm struggling today with my balance. Hinging at the hips, arms hanging heavy, heels down, pressing back through, good. And going again, all the way up. Hinging forward, knees forward, bottom backwards, heels down, press through, and 1 more time, all the way up. Hinging here, toe muscles coming in to support your spine. Heels down, and come back up. Well done. Give yourself a little bit of a walk through your feet. And we're going to come down to sitting. Now we have 2 ways of sitting. You can either just do normal, coming into sitting down, or you can do the fancy transition, which will be nice for you to practice and see how you get on. So with this fancy transition, I'd like you to place 1 foot in front of the other, float your arms up, and from here, just start to bend your knees and sit down smoothly onto the floor. So we're going to be doing some pelvic rock backs. So I'm just going to adjust the camera so you can see me a little bit better here. Good, so making sure you can see me, I'm just going to adjust the curtain as well. There we are. Okay, so coming into a pelvic rock back. I'd like you to find that seated position and sit with your feet on the floor in front of you and nice and tall through your spine. So your feet are flat, your knees are hip distance apart, and you can feel the weight of your body go down through both of your sitting bones nice and equally. We're just going to place our hands behind our thighs here and practice going from slouching to sitting nice and tall. So we're just going to round our back out and come back up, okay? So we breathe out just to tuck our tailbone underneath us slightly, round your lumbar spine, and then lengthen your breastbone up towards the ceiling. So really nice just to get that movement through your spine and your hips. Sitting nice and tall again. Good. Hinge back and up. Lovely. Let's go 2 more times here. Hinging, Sitting up. Good. So this is just our little rock back. And our final time here, hinging back and sitting nice and tall. So from here, we're going to go into our roll back now. And you have an option. You can add on some extra help with your bands. So if you want to just give yourself a bit of guidance, grab your bands and wrap it around your feet. So you're trapping the bands underneath your feet. You're going to hold each end of the bands with your hands. You need a little bit of resistance there because that's what's going to help you sit nice and tall. So from here, we're going from that little slumpy position here to sitting nice and tall. Knees hip distance apart, we breathe in. As we breathe out, we tuck our tailbone under just like before. Let your shoulders keep rounded over your hips. And then we're going to open out at the hips. So the band is just going to help guide you here. So we've still got that C curve in our spine, shoulders away from my ears. And then we're going to press back through, closing that distance between your hips and coming up, okay? So we breathe out to come into that C curve, still breathing out, open out the front of your hips. Inhale here to pause and exhale, close your hips and sit nice and tall. So hopefully having the band there will just give you a little bit of extra traction so you're not going to be gripping through your hip flexors here. If you wish to do it without the bands, what I'd like you to do is float your arms up to shoulder height, breathe in here, breathe out, curl and hinge back. Pause here for your inhale and breathe out, send your hands forward and restack. Lovely, let's go again. You're going to breathe out to curl and rock back. Super. Arms going forward and restacking. So it's really important that we take the time to restack and really get that lovely neutral spine and pelvis again. So we've got that lovely position before we start the exercise again. So breathing in, breathing out, hinging, pressing through, sitting nice and tall. Good. We're going to do 2 more like this. So rocking through your spine, opening out, pressing back through, sitting nice and tall, and 1 more like this. Rolling forward, hinging back, pressing through, and return. Good. Bring your arms down, give your legs a little bit of a break if you need it. We're going to add in a rotation now. So we have got a little bit more movement going on through our spine, and it's just really going to test our core strength. So I want you to be really careful with this. Start with a small movement and then just build up bit by bit. So if you want to add something in just to help you with that rotation, you can get your squidgy ball, or if you have a cushion, you can place that between your hands. Just something that's about, I don't know, 6 inches diameter, which is just going to help maintain that lovely open chest. So from here, bring that ball into your body. So it is level with your breastbone, elbows nice and wide. We have our same position as before, breathing in, breathing out, rock back, keep your knees really stable, and then here, rotate to the side, back to center. Breathing out to rotate, into center, pressing forward, and up. Okay, so we're going to do that again, breathing in and breathing out, roll back. Keep your ball level with your chest bone. If you don't have a ball, you can have your hands apart. It's just a bit harder to have that open chest. So you're rolling back, opening up those hips, breathing out and in. Keeping your shoulders away from your ears, rolling, twisting at the waist, pressing forward and up. Lovely. We're going to go 2 more times here, breathing in, breathing out to roll and hinging back. Pause here for your breath in. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to return. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to return. Pressing through and up. Good. Let's see if you do 2 more. Hopefully feeling it around your middle. So we're working on the obliques. We're getting the deep psoas muscle working as well. We're getting all the transversus abdominis as well. So there's loads of core specific muscles working hard. So sitting nice and tall again. Rolling as you breathe out and open. Inhale here to pause. Exhale to twist. Back to center. Good. Do your best to keep your feet on the floor. And make sure that your knees remain stable rather than falling into each other or falling out to the sides. Good, we're going to go on some time. Breathing in, breathing out to rock back. Rotating here, back through to center. Breathing out, back to center. Keep that core muscle coming in all the time, pressing through, and place the ball down by your sides. Give your legs a bit of a rest here. Give yourself a twist if you need to. Release your shoulders. Super. Okay, so we're already halfway through our class. So you're just going to have a little quick breather here and have a drink if you need it. Give yourself a stretch if you feel that you need to move anywhere. I'm going to just rock my ankles and my wrists around. I can really feel it, especially after those balancing exercises. It's sometimes amazing, I find, that the littlest exercises can really get you working in places that you didn't think you needed to. Okay, so we're going to start the second part of our lesson in our seated position once again. This time we're going to add in a little bit of hamstring work. So we're going to be doing some teaser prep legs, which is also going to work our deep core stability. And then we're going to be doing some rolling like a ball. So if you know that you shouldn't be rolling like a ball, for example, if you know you've got compression between your vertebrae, between your spinal discs, then please sit this one out. You can stay, you can just do a bit of sitting, a bit of stretching, whatever you want to do instead of that exercise. Okay, so teaser prep legs. We're going to find that nice position once again, just like before. So sitting nice and tall, feet flat on the floor, knees hip distance apart. We're going to come into that C curve as we breathe out and then hinge back. Okay, so we have our hands behind our thighs. We're going to keep our core like this. So toe muscles are still working to maintain this position. You're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, keep your hands behind your thighs and lengthen that leg up and lower down. Breathing out to lengthen, in to lower down. Super. So you're just lengthening the back of your hamstrings whilst you're balancing on your sitting bones. So there's no movement going on through your lumbar spine. Now, depending on how you're feeling today, you might feel quite sticky in your hamstrings, or you might feel really lengthened. Breathing out and in. Super. Going again. Breathing out and in. One more time to each side. And out again. Lovely. And in, and sitting nice and tall. Good. So just give your inner thighs a little bit of a stretch, leaning forward. I'm going to do that again. So sitting nice and tall again. So we've got our neutral spine and pelvis. Weight even through our sitting bones. Breathing in. Breathing out to curl and to hinge slightly so you're nice and balanced, but still feel that core connection here. So tummy muscles coming down into your spine. You breathe in. You breathe out to lengthen. In to return. Super. Going again. Breathing out. And in. Out to lengthen. In to return. Super. Going again. On each leg. So doing your best to lengthen that hamstring as much as possible. You're trying to keep your thighs level with each other rather than dropping it down. But if you need to, that's absolutely fine. Just do what was good for you. And just remember as well to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Super. Taking time to really extend through that leg. And we're going to come back up and just lean forward once again. So for this next attempt, we're going to try and do both legs together. So we're going to alter the position of our legs so that we've got the feedback and the support that we need to lengthen both legs together. So feet and knees come together, coming into that rock back, leaning back. Okay, so just walk your toes forward. Towards you so that you're balanced here, breathing in. As you breathe out, we're going to try and lengthen both legs up together and lower down. Okay, so keep your knees coming in towards each other. Lengthen up, fully extending through your legs and come down. This is excellent for getting cramp. So you're just kind of using your arms to maintain this lovely framework here. If you want to do it without your arms, you can lengthen them. It might be on a little bit harder. You can see there that I struggled a bit. And coming down, and we're going to do one more, lengthening your legs. Coming back down, sitting up, and let your knees go out to the side once again, giving yourself a rest here. Super. We're going to try that one more time. So we're going to just give our inner thighs a little bit of a stretch. So here is where your hip flexors are working super hard. So those hip flexors are short little muscles here, which help your knee to go up and down. Because of the position we're in, you'll probably find that they're switched on all the time. Now, if it's too much for you and you're really feeling that you're straining here, what I'd like you to remember is to switch on your glutes. So if we switch on our glutes a little bit more, we're giving our legs support in the hip socket. So you should just let your hip flexors rest a little bit. Okay, so knees and feet together again. Sitting nice and tall here, coming into that C curve. Just rocking back and balancing here so your toes are on the floor. That lovely framework through your upper body. So your elbows are wide, shoulders away from your ears. Breathing in, breathing out to lengthen, in to return. Now on our second time, because our hamstrings might be slightly warmer, you should be able to do this a little bit more easily. Breathing out, keep that core connection, keep your chest bone nice and high, keep your shoulders away from your ears. Good, and two more, breathing out, and in, and releasing forward. Once again, just giving yourself a little bit of a rest here. Super duper. Okay, so time for rolling like a ball. So before we start, just make sure there's nothing behind you that you're going to hit. And remember what I said about your disc. So if you know you've got compression in your lumbar spine, please just sit this exercise out. Otherwise, you might risk doing more harm than good. So for rolling like a ball, sit again on our bottoms, weight even through both of our sit bones, walk your toes in, and then just clasp your arms around your legs. So you've got a really strong framework here. You're pressing your legs out into your elbows and pulling your elbows in, keeping your toes nice and tall. Then we're going to round through, that didn't make any sense. Toes on the floor, but kind of lengthening your heels. We're going to round through our back. So we go from sitting tall to rounding for that C curve. So really hollowing out your tummy. Tuck your chin under, breathe in. And as you breathe out, roll back and roll up and pause, okay? So you've got that lovely framework that you're holding here. You're trying to rely on the strength of your body rather than momentum. If you do momentum, you'll find that you're kind of rolling forward onto your toes. So we're trying to minimize that and just use our core muscles. So we breathe out, engage your core, in to come up. Lovely. Keeping that connection around your legs. Breathing out and in and try and come up. So you see, it didn't quite work there. So coming up, good. Keep your chin tucked under. Breathing out. And in, super. Good. So in your own time, do a few more like this. Breathing out and in, keeping your knees bent, keeping that C curve. If you feel like you're kind of slapping at the floor, that means that you've lost your C curve. So just roll around through your spine a little bit more, keeping your shoulders down. Breathing out and in, lovely. And one more, breathing out. And in to come up to sitting. Well done. Oh, give yourself a rest here. Hopefully you feel like your spine's had a bit of a massage. And the good news is that we are going to come, no, we're not. We're going to do one more thing sitting before we come down onto the mat. We're going to do something called a straight leg rock prep. Now, just like we did that teaser prep legs, we're going to do our leg lengthening. This time we've got a slightly different position of our hips. So, back to sitting. And this time, walk your feet hip distance apart, sitting nice and tall here. We're just going to round through our spine once again. Open out your hips slightly, walk your toes in, and take your knees apart. So your knees are about shoulder distance apart. Then clasp your hands around your wrists. So you should be able to balance here on your bottom quite easily and bring your feet off the floor. Okay, so now we're going to straighten one leg and hopefully use our arm to help. Okay, so we breathe in. Breathe out to strengthen and lengthen that leg. Good, coming back down. So your knees are apart, but your toes are together. Breathing in. Breathing out to open and down. Good. So because we've done those teaser prep legs, hopefully your hamstrings are quite warm already. Breathing out and in. Super duper. Really lengthening through those legs. If you can't hold onto your ankles, you can hold onto your calves. Or you can even add a band around each leg. Just give yourself something to hold on to. So you can hold onto your calves if your arms aren't quite long enough. So this exercise really does depend on the length of your limbs as well. Breathing out. You've still got that core connection here. Keeping your spine nice and strong. Remember, we're keeping our shoulders away from our ears. Lovely. Breathing out once more. And in. Last one here, breathing out, lengthening that leg up. Coming back down, sit nice and tall, cross your legs. Just give your hips a little bit of a rest here. Super. Okay, so we are going to lengthen ourselves down onto the floor. So place your cushion underneath where your head is going to be. Rolling like a ball meant that my mat moved quite a lot, so I'm just going to adjust that position. I'm going to lengthen ourselves down onto the floor. Make sure you have your band to hand. So lying down on the floor here. And find that relaxation position. So your head is resting on the cushion. Weight is going down through the back of your head, the back of your rib cage, and the back of your pelvis. And your feet and knees are hip distance apart here. So tuck your ribs underneath you. Lengthen your arms down by your sides. Make sure your shoulders are lengthened away from your ears. And just do a few little rocks backwards and forwards here. So imprinting your spine into the mat and arching away. Breathing out. And do. Super. Good. One more time here. Great. All right, so resting somewhere halfway in between. Lengthening one leg away from you and turning your toes so they're up to the seat. So you're really anchoring down through that leg. Float the other knee in towards you and clasping that knee with your hands. Just going to start circling the thigh bone in the hip socket. Okay, so once you've got that movement, you can get rid of your hands and just start doing the same movement with your knee. Okay, so you're drawing a circle with your knee around, across the midline of your body, away from the midline of your body, up towards your ear and around. Trying to keep your spine and pelvis in neutral. So we're getting this gorgeous movement, rotation of the thigh bone in the hip socket. Keeping it really mobile and keeping it nice and juicy and healthy. Also working our core muscles and the muscles that support our spine. So this is a fab exercise. You should be able to feel the muscles around your middle working hard. That's it. Good. Circling around, across. And lovely. We're going to go 2 more times. Circling. Circling around. Good. Did I say to reverse the direction? I can't remember. If you haven't, we're going to do 6 in the opposite direction. If you have reversed the movement, then just do a few each way. You might find that now you've warmed up this hip movement, it's a little bit easier and smoother. Okay, we're going to pause here. We're going to lengthen that leg away. See if your feet and your legs feel any different. And we're going to bring that opposite knee in. Remember, for our first few circles, we're supporting our knee with our hands, bringing it in, away and around. Good. Letting your calf just drop down on the back of the thigh. Good. And you might feel that one side is a little bit stiffer than the other. When you've got that movement, you can take your arms down by your sides. Remember, you're keeping your spine and pelvis in neutral and start drawing that circle with your knee once again. So really gorgeous, smooth movements here. Trying to get as much mobility in that hip as possible. Circling around, super. And 2 more times. Circling, and 1 more, and let's go the other way. Circling around, back through and round. Good. Lovely. For me, my left side is a little bit more sticky than my right. And let's lengthen that leg away. Good. Okay, so just going to read. It's printed in grey today rather than black, so it's quite tricky reading. We're going to do the same but with long legs now. So this is where you might need to use your band. We're going to wrap that band around one of our feet and hold one end in each hand. Lengthen that leg away from you. Lightly point that toe, or as much as you can whilst keeping that band here. Keeping your pelvis heavy, just start circling here. So we're doing exactly the same movement as before, but this time with a long leg. So this band is just going to give you a bit of support. It's going to help you keep your hamstring lengthened and your leg extended. So circling around. If you want to let your spine and pelvis rock slightly, that's fine. You're going to get a little bit more movement if you allow movement in your torso. Okay, and now once you've got that movement in your body, you can get rid of that band, point your toe, do exactly the same. So drawing that circle, keep lots of energy in that leg. circling around. Remember to use your glute to support you. We're going to do 6 times in one direction. It's actually quite hard work. And again, if you've got long limbs, it might be working a little bit harder. Okay, and let's go the other way now. So circling around, allowing a bit of movement through your spine and pelvis is going to allow you to make those circles bigger. If you want to make them smaller, that's up to you. You can just do what feels good. And really feel these muscles around the top of my leg working hard and around my hips, because that's what's creating that movement. So you can keep the other leg lengthened as an anchor on the floor. One more time. Oh, and bring that knee in. Hopefully you feel like you've worked that leg hard. So just resting here for a few breaths. I'm going to send that leg away. Bring the other leg in. Wrap that band around your foot. Lengthen it up into the air. Pointing your toe and start to circle. So circling around. Keeping that leg long. Super. Pointing through the toe. Try not to kick anything. Okay, when you feel like you've got that motion in your leg, you can get rid of that band. Do the same. So again, just feel if one leg is different from the other. Allow yourself that little bit of movement, but keep your shoulders away from your ears. Circling around, nice and long. My circles are a little bit skewed because I've got a wall next to me. Good, and then we're going to go the other way. So point through your toe, circling around, back up, down and round. Good. Pointing and circling. And 2 more times here. Arms lengthened on the floor. Last time. Oh, and bring that knee in. Give it a little bit of a hug and a rock here, just to relax and release any tension through those hip muscles. Okay, so placing your feet back onto the floor. Setting yourself up once again with your feet and knees hip distance apart. Find your neutral spine and pelvis, and then get rid of your cushion and replace the cushion with your hands. So clasp your hands behind your head. Just practice picking up your head whilst keeping your head heavy in your hands. So rather than movement coming from straining your neck, your head is super heavy and you're really activating the shoulders around the back of your rib cage. We're just going to do 6 normal curl-ups before we take it into an oblique curl-up. So neutral spine and pelvis, keep your feet and your pelvis heavy, breathing in here. As you breathe out, we're just going to nod our chin. And 1 bone at a time, start to lift up from the floor, really engaging through these toe muscles, gaze going between your knees, head heavy here. Lengthen back down, super, go again, breathing out. Inhale to come down, lovely. Super, let's go again, breathing out. Inhale to come down. Ask yourself what's going on with your knees. 2 more like this. Good, and 1 more. Breathing out and in. Okay, so let's take it into our oblique curl-up now. So we're going to add in an arm lengthen as well. So this is just going to help you get a little bit more out of it. So we start just as we do for curl-ups. You breathe in. As you breathe out, we nod forward and rotate to the side. And as you rotate, you lengthen your arm towards the opposite knee. Inhale to circle back to the center and lengthen down. So we breathe out, soften your breastbone, slide your rib cage towards your hips and curl and reach. Inhale back through to center and lengthen down. So coming up, keep the height of that curl up as you twist and reach through your hands even back to center. And down. Good, going again. Breathing out and reach. Make sure your knees are staying really solid and strong. Feeling this around your waist area, really feeling that core connection. So as you come into that curl up, you can imagine that your ribs are sliding down towards your hips and shortening as you come into that twist. Lengthen down. Good, going again. Breathing out and twist. Back through to center and down. Good, going again, breathing out and twist. Inhale and down. And one more time. Exhale and twist. Inhale and down and rest here. I can really feel it around here. So hopefully you can feel that something's been working here as well. We're going to step it up a notch now and turn it into our crisscross. So head is still heavy in your hands, elbows in your peripheral vision. Float your knees at one at a time into your double knee fold, and then bring your heels together. Come into your curl up. So this is your start position. Breathing in. As you breathe out, we rotate to the side towards the opposite knee as you lengthen the opposite leg away. Inhale back through to center. Exhale to turn and lengthen. Inhale back to center. So you maintain that curl up, taking it nice and slow. So if you've been to the gym a lot, you might know these as bicycles. By slowing them down, you're really going to get that strength and connection around the mid waist. Super, going again. Breathing out. And in. Out. Opposite knee comes in. Return. Going again. Breathing out. And in. Okay, let's even do two more for each side. If you need to rest, take it. Breathing out. And in. And in. Good. One more time. I can really feel this. And in. And our last one. Out. And in. And bring your head back down to the floor. Bring your knees in and give yourself a little bit of a rock out to the side. Well done. Okay, so cushion back underneath your head. We're going to find our neutral spine and pelvis once more. Bring your knees and feet together. And then we're going to float our legs up into double knee fold and hook that band around your legs before lengthening them up to the ceiling. So you've got long legs, squeezing your inner thighs together. Just going to use that band to support our legs as we take this into a lovely circle. Okay, so now we're going to allow movement through your spine. Okay, so you're going to imprint your spine and feel that strength. Try not to let go of the band. Okay, so you should feel that your muscles around your waist are working hard. If you want more support, you can shorten that band, and that's just going to help take the weight of your legs. Okay. If this is too much, you can do the same with your knees in towards you. So you're circling around with your knees this time. You're getting a little bit of a spine massage as well. So you're rocking around the back of your sacrum almost. Okay, we're going to go the other way. So whether you've got long legs or bent legs, just start to circle around here. Super. Two more like this. And come back through to center. Good. Bring your knees in. So from here, neutral spine and pelvis once more. We're just going to get a little bit of movement through our hips before we go into our hundreds. I'd like you to bring your knees at one at a time. Okay. So your knees are hip distance apart in this double knee fold position. We're going to keep our pelvis really still. So if you want to, you can place your hands on your hips, breathing in here. As you breathe out, we just start to open one leg out to the side as far as you can without rocking through your pelvis and come back to center. So we breathe out to open, inhale to center, really getting these muscles around your mid area working hard. This is gorgeous for those hips. So we've done a lot on hips today actually. So hopefully you're all feeling okay. Use your glutes here rather than squeezing through your hip flexors. Okay, breathing out. And in. So as you open one leg to the side, keep the other leg completely still. It's really tempting to open it out as a kind of counterbalance. So we're going to do our best to keep it still. Good. One more time to each side. And our last time, opening out and bringing your knees in to give yourself a hug. Well done. All right. So hundreds time. I believe that in the intermediate and advanced Pilates, they use hundreds as a warm-up. So today we're kind of using it as the pinnacle of our work. And we have options here. You can keep your head on the floor, bring your knees to double knee fold, keeping that neutral spine and pelvis, and extend your arms so that they're mid-thigh level. Remember that we breathe in and out for 5 breaths, pulsing from the shoulder. If you want to, you can come into your curl up. And if you want even more, you can extend your legs, keeping them together and pointing your toes, okay? If you want even more, you can go into kind of some leg scissors. Really keeping that core connection here. Okay, so choose your position. Remember, you can transition between them. If you need to place your head down because you feel like you're straining your neck, that's absolutely fine as well. So keep bringing your legs up, just finding whatever position you want to start in. We're going to breathe in and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still your arms, bring your knees in, place your head down. Rest and breathe. Well done. That was really good. Well done. So, whichever position you chose, by doing 100, you're building up your stamina, you're building up your core strength, you're timing your breath with your movements as well. And it's great for your concentration, because I don't know about you, but I find it impossible to think about anything other than what I'm doing when I'm doing hundreds. So bring your knees in if you want to. Just give yourself a little rock from side to side. Just releasing any tension you're holding here. Just going to turn my head from side to side as well. Lovely. Okay, so after hundreds, we're just going to take a few nice relaxing exercises. So placing the mat back underneath your head. Find your neutral spine and pelvis. Just relax your neck here. Arms lengthened down by your sides, and we're just going to do a little chin tuck. So tucking your chin in, lengthening the back of your neck, looking up and back. Again, tucking your chin, looking up and back. Looking up and back, good, and 2 more times. And 1 more time, good. Looking up and back. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into a lovely rib cage closure to open out the front of our chest. So feet remain on the floor, knees hip distance apart, breathing in here. As we breathe out, we're going to float our arms up directly over our shoulders and back towards the floor behind us, keeping our rib cage as heavy as possible, making sure you don't arch through your spine and pop up, and reaching up and down. Okay. So breathing out to float and take back. Inhale to come down. Breathing out, tummy muscles coming in. Reaching up and down. Super. Breathing out. Inhale and down. Good. 2 more times. Breathing out. And in. Lovely. And 1 more like this. Breathing out. Super. And in. Good. Let's get some gorgeous movements through our hips now. So still in neutral spine and pelvis. Hands go on your hips. Keeping your knees and feet hip distance apart. We're just going to go into that lovely opening. So hopefully that's going to feel really easy now. Opening out our legs to the side. Coming back in. Good. Going again. Breathing out. Tummy muscles supporting you. And coming back in. Good. Feeling that gorgeous opening through the front of your hip. Controlling with your core muscles. Back in. And going again. Breathing out. And in. Gazing it towards the ceiling. Shoulders relaxed down. Breathing out. And in. Lovely. Going again. 2 more times to each side. So you're rocking on the edge of your foot. You're keeping your ears separated from your shoulders. Lovely. Last one to each side here. Opening out. My tummy's just rumbled. I don't know if you can hear that. It was quite loud. Opening out again and back in. Okay, so let's float one knee in. Lengthen the opposite leg away. Take a few breaths in here. So every time you breathe out, just try and bring that knee in slightly closer towards your shoulder. So just giving your leg a little bit of a rest now. And swapping over, lengthening one leg away from you, bring the other knee in. Breathing out to relax. Few more breaths here. Good. Lengthening that leg away, rolling onto your side and pushing yourself up to a seated position. And then find whatever position suits you best. Good. So I'm going to sit cross-legged. You might like to have your legs out or in a long frog position. It's up to you. But today this feels good for me. Take your arms out to the side. Check that you're sitting nice and tall. Breathing in. As you breathe out, let's float one arm up and come up and over. Lovely. Reaching through. Lovely side body stretch. Inhale to restack and float the arm down. Let's go on the other side. Breathing out. Reaching up and over. Inhale and down. Good. So going again. Breathing out to come up. Really enjoying this movement. We're going to do it one more time. Breathing out, up and over. Super. Restacking. Float the arm down. Let's go both arms together. Breathing in. Breathing out. Reaching through your fingers. Nice and tall. Toe muscles coming in. Press the air away. And one more time. Reaching all the way up. And pressing the air away. And give yourself a nice clap. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you've really enjoyed the class. Please do let me know if you have any questions or any queries. And remember, if there's any specific exercises that you want to do, let me know and we can work on those. So next week, I'm going to try and remember to put some lovely side-lying arms in to open out your shoulders. So if I say this, then hopefully it's going to go into my mind. So when I do my plan, I can remember. So otherwise, have a great week. I'll see you soon and take care. Bye-bye.